Hi, this is Ms. Briscoe. I teach geometry pre-AP, and this is our syllabus video. I'm going to talk through different parts of the syllabus. So I teach in room B105. My conference period is 4th, if you ever need a conference with me. And please email me. I would love for students and parents to be emailing me with questions. The grading categories in pre-AP are that tests are worth 70% of our grade, quizzes are worth 20%, and homework, classwork, daily grades are worth 10%. That 10% is meant to be a cushion for your grade, so homework completion is super important. Think about that as 10 points. That's a whole letter grade that just comes from homework, so make sure you do homework. And on that note, no late work is accepted. I'll go into a little bit more detail about that later. Tutorials are pretty much every morning. I would start them around 7:10, 7:15. Pop in, ask questions. It can be for 5 minutes. It can be for the whole time. On the mornings of tests and quizzes, we'll have a more formal, structured review session where there'll be a lot of kids and I'll be standing at the board more, working problems that kids have questions on, versus a typical tutorial day where I'd be walking around, hopping from student to student or pulling a small group. It's a little bit more casual and not quite so formal. So if it's the morning of a test or quiz, it's more like a formal review session. If it's not the morning of a test or quiz, it's very casual and you can pop in and pop out and get your questions answered. What supplies do you need? So we are going to be using devices in class. So bring headphones. Please bring headphones every single day. You might need to watch a video. You might have to watch a video in the middle of class. Like today, you're watching a video in class on your phone. Or if you have an iPad that you want to bring or a laptop that you want to bring, you can bring your own device. I have a set of 8 Chromebooks that kids can use in class, but I only have 8. So that leaves about 22 to 26 other kids without a Chromebook. So please bring your own device if you have access to that. Bring a notebook. So in the past, we've had kids buy composition notebooks, those typical like black and white ones. But if you would like to buy a spiral notebook, that's totally fine by me. I think I myself will be using a spiral notebook this year, but some sort of notebook where we'll be gluing stuff in, taking notes, doing homework problems. Bring pencils. In math, we make mistakes. So also bring erasers. A colored grading pen or pencil, whatever you prefer, but to correct our tests and quizzes, we'll be using a colored grading writing utensil. A glue stick and scissors would be awesome. We're going to be doing some little hands-on activities, gluing things into our notebook every day, foldables, etc. So bring a glue stick and bring scissors. If you would bring one of the following, so you don't need to bring all 3. If you'd like to bring all 3, that would be such a blessing, but no pressure. If you would please bring 1 box of tissues or 1 roll of paper towels or 1 package of expo markers or just an expo marker. Whatever you would like to bring as some combination or just one of those items would be such a gift to me. And we fly through tissues like they're going out of style, especially in the winter when it's cold and flu season. So tissues would be such a blessing. And we have a class set of calculators that students will be using for sure on days of tests and quizzes, but they are free to use them during class. However, when you're at home working on assignments at home, if you don't have access to a graphing calculator, you're going to be in trouble. So there are some graphing calculators online, and we'll have a link to it on our It's Learning page. But it's not a bad idea to get a TI graphing calculator. I bought mine in 7th grade and used it all the way through college, and I was a math major, and I still have it. Actually, I lied. I have my sister's because I broke mine. So, yikes. But had I not broken it, it would still be up and running. So, it's not a bad investment. You're going to use it for your college math classes and college business classes and things like that. So, some online resources. We're using It's Learning, which you probably heard all of your teachers talk about It's Learning. It's a Spring Branch initiative. It's our learning platform. So that's where our calendar, that's where our assignments, that's where answer keys, that's where videos, all sorts of resources will be on It's Learning. We'll be using it to submit assignments. We're also going to be using a website called Formative, Go Formative. So that is where you're going to enter in homework answers so you can get instantaneous feedback as to whether or not you got the problem right. So that's pretty cool. And we have an online textbook, and it's actually both It's Learning and the online textbook have really good apps that you should download. So It's Learning has an app, it's orange. The online textbook has an app, it's the Connect Ed app. So those are all great resources for you. If you're absent, what should you do? You should check It's Learning. You should email me. You should ask a friend, text a friend, see, hey, what did I miss? Come to tutorials. You missed something. We didn't just do nothing. We did something. So come. If you can't answer your own questions from a video or from whatever's uploaded onto It's Learning, come to tutorials. Be proactive. Come the next day ASAP. You will have the number of days of the absence to complete your missed assignment. So if you miss one day, you get one additional day. If you miss 2 days, you get 2 additional days. This is a big kicker. Before a test or quiz, if you miss the review day, so let's say the review day is on Monday and the test is on Tuesday, and you're absent on Monday, so you missed the review day, you are taking the test on Tuesday. There is no new material that's given on the review day, so you didn't miss anything. The review sheet and the answer key are both going to be on It's Learning, so there's no excuse. Everything that was done in class can be done at home. It's just a review day. You will be taking the test or quiz on the originally scheduled date if you've only missed the review date. If you miss the test day or quiz day, then you are taking the test or quiz the following day. So ideally that would be the morning of the next day. So that way you don't have to waste more class time retaking your test or quiz. But if you don't show up in the morning, then you have to use class time to take the test. This is a time where you need to be proactive. If you have missed a test or a quiz, shoot me an email and let's schedule a time for you to take it. It might be before school. You might want to use your lunch period. You might want to use your study hall. Maybe you missed for a soccer tournament and your soccer coach is letting you make up work during soccer the next day. Come see me during soccer. I'm super flexible, but you have to be proactive. It is on you. And if not, if you don't make a plan ahead of time, you will be taking the test or quiz during class the day that you return. And then you're going to miss another lesson and get behind. So be proactive when you're absent. If you've missed more than 2 days, then you need to make arrangements with me and we're going to figure something out. And you'll have the same number of days that you missed to complete the assessment, to take your test or quiz. So you must take your test or quiz within the number of days that you missed. So please email me. Be proactive. Our communication policy. So concerning grades, dates, and other academic issues, students are expected to self-advocate. So they have access to It's Learning, and grades, dates, those things are on Skyward or on It's Learning. They're online, so kids can use their resources and be responsible for that kind of thing themselves. So in other words, a student should make contact with the teacher in person, just coming up and saying, hey, Ms. Briscoe, I had a question about my grade, or hey, Ms. Briscoe, I think you made a mistake about something on my quiz. Anything like that, come talk to me in person or shoot me an email so that they can get their question answered. So basically what we're trying to say is parents can are totally welcome to contact the teachers. We love that, but know that we want to equip our students for their futures and we want them to become confident speaking with adults and advocating for themselves. So we need to give them the opportunity to practice that. So I really want to push parents to let their students make the first move at contacting the teacher and see if that will resolve the issue. So please contact us parents if there's an issue, if there's something your student isn't comfortable approaching the teacher about, but I'm confident that with most issues, things can be resolved pretty easily and most effectively if it's just a direct teacher-student conversation. Homework is, again, worth a big percentage of your grade. 10% makes a big difference. It's only checked for completion, not accuracy. Homework is for practice. So if you're going to make a mistake, a good place to make a mistake is on your homework. We're never going to grade it for accuracy, just for completion. So homework is going to kind of work a little bit differently this year. You're going to work out homework, whether it's from the textbook, you're going to work it on notebook paper. If it's a worksheet, obviously you can work it straight on the worksheet, or if you want to work it on an extra notebook paper, that's great too. But you're going to need to show all of your work. If you use a calculator, write down whatever you typed into the calculator onto your paper. A list of answers is never acceptable unless it's vocab or unless it's just a simple answer. But even multiple choice questions, I've seen a lot of kids just write the answer is A, and you're like, well, how did you come up with A? There's a whole set of work that you had to do in order to figure out the answer. So just because it's a multiple choice question doesn't always mean that you're off the hook for showing work. Copying down the problem is not the same as doing the problem, so you have to show work. Then I talked about that thing called formative that we're going to use. You're going to go into formative and be able to type in your answers to your homework and get instantaneous feedback as to whether you got the question correct or incorrect. So I will be able to see that you've submitted an answer for every single question or wherever you stopped on formative. So I might just check the formative data and see, oh look, everybody did their homework, they all get hundreds. Or I might ask for you to take out your physical homework, and I might walk around and check your physical homework. So be prepared for both. Both are fair game every single day. So it's twofold: typing your answers into formative, if it's a formative assessment, and showing me the hard copy, the actual copy of your homework. The reason is we don't want students to just go into formative and just type some random answers and they get credit for it. So every now and then we're going to flip back and forth between checking formative and checking the physical homework. No late work is accepted. No late homework is accepted. So you need to have your physical homework, that actual piece of paper where you did your work, in class at the time that class begins, or else you will not receive credit for it. So if you left it in your locker or if you left it at home, a lot of kids have asked things like, can my mom run it up to school, or can she take a picture of it and email it to you? That's unacceptable. You need to have your physical homework due at your class period, not later in the day, your class period. Retests are eligible when you are eligible for a retest, when you receive a failing grade on a test. And notice I said retest. The rule is that you can retake a test if you fail. So if you score below 70, you can retake a test. You need to come to tutorials and get help on the test, or else you might repeat the same mistakes you made the first time. And you need to rework it and correct it so that way you retrain your brain and actually learn it correctly for the retest. And the highest grade that a student can receive on a retake is a 70. So let's say you make a 60 on the test and you take the retest and you crush it and you get 100. You're not going to get 100 in the grade book. You're going to get a 70. So whether you get 100 on the retake, an 80 on the retake, a 70 on the retake, the highest you can get is a 70. A retake cannot hurt you. We're only going to take the higher of the two grades. So if you're not sure if you're going to do better, go ahead and just try the retest. Because I'm only going to use the grade that helps you.